The world of Windows-based handheld gaming devices is always gonna grow larger, and today we have the MSI Claw A8 with us. The full name of this device is the MSI Claw A8 BZ2EMX. It's important, but throughout this entire video, I will just call this device in particular as the MSI Claw. Yeah, because that name is just way too long. It's actually a pretty good handheld device, but there are a few weird design choices that I just can't wrap my head around. So let's go through all of them in today's video. Let's go through the specs first. The MSI Claw is powered by the AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme with the powerful AMD Radeon 890M integrated graphics, 24 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM at 8000 mega transfers per second, and also 1TB NVMe SSD. So here are some quick performance charts in comparison with the ROG Xbox Ally X because they are practically sharing the exact same specs. It's just that the ROG Xbox Ally X has the AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme instead. Since games don't use the NPU anyway, at least as of now, the performance is gonna be identical. But in certain games, the FPS number is slightly lower on the MSI Claw because it is using a 16:10 aspect ratio screen. With those extra vertical pixels, it's no surprise that the FPS number is ever so slightly lower. The thermal limit of the MSI Claw is at 85.9 degrees Celsius, and I suggest you to not touch the back of the device or the screen because it can get uncomfortably hot while gaming. This MSI Claw A8 is also equipped with an 80 watt-hour battery inside, and that results in around 1 hour and 49 minutes in the PCMark battery life test, while setting it to 35 watts of TDP locked at 100 nits brightness. Despite having the same battery capacity as the ROG Xbox Ally X, the MSI Claw A8 is a few minutes short in comparison because of those extra vertical pixels due to that 16:10 aspect ratio. I actually thought the battery life would be way worse, but it's actually not, so it's a good thing here. As for the charging time though, this is a bit disappointing. The MSI Claw A8 can only take in 65 watts at most, so it will take nearly 2 hours to complete the charge from 0% to 100% while it is turned off. And there's also about an 8 watt power loss throughout the entire charge cycle. Since it can only take in 65 watts maximum, the battery will be very slowly charging if I'm playing games at full performance with the charger plugged in. This is truly disappointing as it could not take in a maximum of 100 watts like the ROG Xbox Ally X. I also want to quickly go through the ports first. The MSI Claw A8 has the exact same ports as the ROG Xbox Ally X, just in different positions. I'm glad that they have dual USB-C ports and also 40 gigabits per second transfer speeds. But before we move on, we have to talk about that design. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are hyper-focused on this lime green color. It just so happened that we have it in this lime green color because it is also available in the more standard white color as well. When I first looked and touched the MSI Claw, I was surprised by how lightweight it is, and the design is very angular with just rounded edges between the facets. It's certainly a unique design and I actually like it quite a lot. And surprisingly, I also like the grips. Yeah, the grips here are very comfortable for my hands. The way I grip the device is quite weird as my fingers will wrap back around inwards, and the grip here is not as wide as the ones found in the ROG Xbox Ally X, and I personally prefer the Claw's grip. However, I do not like the positions of both the M1 and M2 keys at the back because they are in the way and I can accidentally just press on them way too easily. I ended up disabling both M1 and M2 keys. And then we have these tiny shoulder buttons and triggers. I have no idea why MSI decided to make them so tiny. It definitely felt strange at first, but I got used to them rather quickly. There's one thing that I like a lot though, the thinness of the MSI Claw A8. I mean, the original ROG Ally was thin as well, but some people complain about the ergonomics so much that ROG had to bulk it up to improve the grip at the cost of thickness. MSI somehow balanced the thinness and ergonomics very well and created this design. Another thing that I think MSI did well is the screen size. It is using an 8-inch IPS LCD screen with a resolution of 1920 by 1200 pixels and goes up to 120Hz refresh rate too. Because it is using a 16 by 10 aspect ratio screen, it just feels like the screen is a whole lot bigger compared to the ROG, for example. The size between these two devices aren't that much different, mind you. It's just that the extra vertical space really creates the illusion of being a whole lot bigger. As for the screen quality, I think it's pretty okay. It can go up to around 530 nits maximum and goes down to 26.5 nits minimum. The color gamut coverage here is pretty good as well, as it covers nearly 100% of sRGB but only around 75% of DCI-P3 color gamut. That means the colors are not gonna be as vivid as other screens. While the screen, the grip, and the thinness are great, there's just one big annoyance that I found, and that is gonna be the fan noise. The MSI Claw A8 uses two very thin fans that are just whiny. Have a listen here. When we open up and looked inside the MSI Claw, yeah, the fans are very similar to the fans found in the original ROG Ally, which also had super whiny fans. And since we're here, let's now talk about the upgradability. The MSI Claw A8 is super simple to open up, just 6 screws at the back, and then we can pop out the back panel with just our fingernails. We then have access to all of the components already, the battery, the M.2 2280 SSDs, and 2 clusters of buttons. We went through the entire disassembly in another video, so watch that at the top right corner there or down in the description below. MSI designed the daughter boards in a rather efficient way, but swapping out the joysticks would be a problem because there's some things that we cannot easily remove. With all of the hardware stuff all of the way, let's now talk about the software. The MSI Claw A8 comes with Windows 11 with the MSI Center M pre-installed. It's MSI's in-house companion app for handheld devices like this. Upon starting the MSI Center M app, the list of games installed are presented in the screen where we can just go left and right to select whatever we want. For whatever reason, this menu is just very choppy, but when we move down to the 5 icons below, it's super smooth. We can also then launch other game launchers by heading to the gaming platform at the top right corner, and that's about it for the screen. And then comes the user scenario menu. This is where we can select the power profile, and we have a total of 3 of them. The AI engine is practically leaving it in auto. Endurance mode is to limit the performance so that we can get the best battery life possible, and manual is where we can fine-tune the TDP ourselves. Honestly, I just max out everything in manual mode when I'm testing this device anyway. The reason is simple. The MSI Center M app is supremely buggy. One repeated bug that I can show you is by selecting AI engine, then hit into the advanced settings menu, and then hitting the gear icon. It just hangs there. And then the control mode. We can remap buttons in the gamepad mode, but in desktop mode, all of the buttons are hard-coded and both M1 and M2 keys are practically useless in this mode. The news and updates is where we can update the BIOS and whatnot. Connection is where we can connect to the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but I can't find a way to actually enable the permission, so I ended up just using the Windows 11, the taskbar thing. And finally, we have the settings menu. In the settings menu, we can change a lot of things like the RGB of the joysticks and face buttons. Yes, the face button do light up, but it is very faint as there is only one RGB LED at the center of all the face buttons. There are a few RGB options to select from, but I personally will just turn them off. Other than that, we have everything that we expected from the settings menu, like noise cancellation for microphones, media gallery to see all of the screenshots and videos, alongside the system info, battery charge limiter, all of those things. Now, other than the bug with the AI engine menu that we talked about earlier, there are actually way more issues with the software side of things. First, taking screenshots on this device is supremely annoying. Remember that we can remap the M1 and M2 keys in gamepad mode? Yeah, I can remap those keys to take a screenshot, and I did. However, if you're gonna press on those buttons to take a screenshot, it opens up the snipping tool instead of taking an actual screenshot. To actually take a screenshot, we have to go into the Xbox game bar widget and select the screenshot option. There's no shortcut combo key like pressing M1 and A key to take a screenshot. Yeah, the same goes for videos as well, by the way. Secondly, there are many elements in the MSI Center app that does not respond to controller inputs. We have to then use the touchscreen instead. This is not a big deal, but I just thought that I broke something because I just kept hammering the buttons and nothing happened. And at this time of recording, we already have the Xbox full screen experience available on this device as well. So if you want to know more about it, then you can check the video at the top right corner there, because we also have the MSI quick settings widget integrated there as well, and we can customize it a bit, but you can only have up to 9 quick settings at once. That's a weird decision from MSI. As a quick mention, the BIOS menu of the MSI Claw A8 is practically just ported over from laptops and desktops. It looks fancy, but it still tells us to press buttons like F10 to save and quit, but the D-pad and face buttons will navigate just fine. Even the touchscreen is kind of usable here, but we have to double tap on the screen to select one option. So should you buy the MSI Claw A8 BZ2EM? I think this is a pretty good handheld gaming device, all things considered. Yeah, there are some trade-offs here and there, but the only issues that I have is gonna be the whiny fans and also the M1 and M2 keys being in the way when I hold the device. While I do think the MSI Center M is severely lacking and buggy, it's not really a big deal for me because I can just install Linux on it for a much better experience. For this ROG Xbox LIX, I installed CachyOS on it and it worked flawlessly. The M1 and M2 keys are actually taking screenshots and videos the instant I press on them, and the same can be done on the MSI Claw as well. Considering all of that, I actually think that the MSI Claw A8 is a pretty good deal. It has the same battery life, nearly identical performance with the ROG Xbox LIX, but at 500 ringgit Malaysia lower, as it is only priced at 4,199 ringgit. But there are some discounts as of the time I'm taking this screenshot, so by the time you are purchasing it, the price may fluctuate. I'm not really sure about the US pricing of the MSI Claw as well, because it is just not available as of now. So let me know down in the comment section below. Will you buy this MSI Claw A8 or will you not? Will you buy something else? Why and why not? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Also, let me know which handheld device you think is better. I personally think there's no clear winner because both the ROG Xbox LIX and the MSI Claw A8 have their own strengths, but it ultimately comes down to the price and also your personal preference. So that's all that we have to share with you about the review of the MSI Claw A8. If you want to know more about the ROG Xbox LIX and also the Xbox full screen experience, then check out our other channel. All of the links are down in the description below. Check all of them out and we'll see you guys in the next video. Yes.